Kapintesin Muchas.
Barely missed that.
Ah! What was annoying is that I had just come off my res sickness. Nope, wrong angle. Okay, that one this time. The moment Actistus was slain, the flow of ether in Pandaemonium focused keenly on this location, creating a tunnel of sorts through which we could quickly convey ourselves. 'Twas almost as if we were ushered here. This place is created with care, concealed with powerful wards. Only a keyword would have been able to detect it, and even then with great difficulty. Ergo. If only I could restore the Tauros to order. I'm afraid this is the most I can manage with such power as remains to me. It has been too long, Master Lahabrea. Likewise, keyword Actistus. I should not be surprised if you were able to break free of Hephaestus' cells, even diminished as you were. 'Twas not an easy task, even with your aid. His curses dug into one's heart, creating a storm of emotions that is all too easy to become lost in. Only by a chance but a fragment of myself remained, illuminating a path through the madness. And thus I am able to appear to you before you now. Even while my body was powerless to resist Hephaestus' commands, some part of my logical mind stood alone in defiance, even managed to speak to the outside world. The report, that was you. Doubtless you recognized my voice from the many times I called out to you. The hope of that those pleas would not fall on deaf ears was all that kept me from succumbing to hopelessness. But I have a greater purpose here than simply saying my farewells. There's something you must know, that the tragedies of the past didn't repeat in the present. Forgive me for what I'm about to do, Master Lahabrea, but the story must be told. 'Tis the only way to understand Hephaestus' fixation on Erecthonios. No longer can you hide your heart away. Hephaestus? No, the mask marks him as Lahabrea. Master Lahabrea brought to an end to Lady Athena's life, and sealed away part of his memory and emotions with Hephaestus. These are my recollections of the moments following. And you truly have no intention of revealing the truth to Erecthonios? My lesser half is now buried where none can find it. It would be wise to do the same with our memory of this day. Blood should not sway the spirit so, but Athena's teachings have warped the boy. I fear he would see our star burn to keep his mother safe. Erecthonios believes that he feels love, but he's shackled by dependence. He could not bear the truth. His dependence makes him all the more important to be open with him. He will seek answers about his mother's loss, which shall inevitably lead you to him to you. Are you willing to accept the blame for Athena's death? Are you willing to accept your son's hatred? this is what comes to pass, then so be it. Better to be burdened with the hatred than the knowledge that Athena bethought his body and soul were mere tools, to be used and discarded. Even were I to tell him that what his mother plotted, he would ever seek reasons to believe that the true fault lies with me, or with him. Should he merely hate me, he will remain unfettered by doubt, free to serve the star far from his parents' shadow. Erechthonios loved his mother more than life itself, and yet, what a dreadful truth you've borne all this time. Such is La Habrae's nature. Every action, every word a solution to life's great dilemmas, and none to spare for his own. What I have revealed to you is but a small portion of a larger picture. I shall leave it to La Habrae to paint the rest for you, and Erechthonios, I hope. Thank you, Agnessus. I always admired you, you know. What choice did I have when you sacrificed so much to guide our star to the heavens? Hephaestus has doubtless sensed that his final keyword has fallen. We should return to the surface before he moves to strike us here. If we are to face him, we must be prepared to bring our full strength to bear. It was Erechthonios' hatred of his father that caused him to fall victim to Hephaestus' magics. At the roots of that hatred were born from a son's love. Love nurtured not by a mother caring for her offspring, but by a researcher creating the ideal testament. Pandaemonium abounds with demons indeed. Agnessus was ever a bold woman, even in profound moments. That she would unearth the secrets of my past for all to look upon. Still, full glad am I that she faced you as her last opponent. I can think of none more worthy to send her soul off to the other side. The vision you saw told the story far more eloquently than I ever could. Athena was consumed by her research and was willing to sacrifice her own child if it hastened her progress. She did not offer him a position here out of a sense of love or pride. 'Twas merely because she knew he would be the most pliable testament. I see now why you hid the truth from him. Cannot say with certainty that Erechthonios could handle the weight of such betrayal after holding his mother on a pedestal for so long. Unfortunately, it seems not even her death has ensured his safety. Hephaestus has taken up Athena's research and succeeded in creating Hemethoi. I know not what his ultimate end is, but it's plain that it is connected with the resurrection of Athena. That knowledge alone is sufficient to direct our next course of action. As for the rest of your story, we shall hear it after we have returned Erechthonios to safety, in accordance to Agnessus' last wish. Very well. I can at least assure you that finding him shall prove relatively simple now, but Hephaestus can no longer bend Pandaemonium to his will. There's but one place left for him to find refuge. The Black Heart of Tartarus, where Athena built her testing compound. We can assume that Hephaestus will offer fierce resistance. I must focus my every effort on securing safe means of approach. I would ask you that you assume the duty of summoning Iyhara's phantom warriors. I have no objections. My ability to fight within Tartarus would be greatly diminished in any case. However, I wish to deal the final blow to Hephaestus myself. There is no need to dirty your hands with such a deed. I take it then that you have no intention to seal him away as before. The presence I felt when I counted Hephaestus bear little resemblance to the entity I created. By his own hand he has become something far more wicked, and the same magic that once shackled him may very well shatter before the power he wields. On my pride as a researcher, I am loath to repeat the same mistake twice. I would not see these events play out again, and so he must be extinguished. Well then, I shall open the way forward. May we finish this, together. If Hephaestus truly means to continue Athena's research, and Erechthonios is indispensable to his goals, he is safe. For how much longer I cannot say. The end is in sight. Return to me safely, friend.
Erechthonios is mine, heart and soul. And with your death, none will be left to stop me. Rest eternal in the dark depths of this prison. From fulgent flame my servants rise. Out of my sight! Leave naught but ash in your wake. Let sheep sorrow into your heart. I tire of this farce. Behold the fruits of sacrifice! You will know my rage! Perish in flame's embrace! Go forth and sate your boundless hunger! From fulgent flame my servants rise. A fitting death. I shall see my wish fulfilled. You are prey to be consumed! Sear flesh from bone! Leave naught but ash in your wake. Let sheep sorrow into your heart. Behold the fruits of sacrifice. You will know my rage. Who praying before a god? Perish in flame's embrace. Go forth and sate your boundless hunger. From fulgent flame my servants rise. Out of my sight! I shall see my wish fulfilled. You are prey to be consumed. Leave naught but ash in your wake. I tire of this farce.
Let's see if this is the real one. Maybe not.
From fulgent flame my servants rise. Let sheep sorrow into your heart. Behold the fruits of sacrifice. You will know my rage. Who, praying praying before a god.
Wow! That was...
Chain of events that led to this moment began with my error. When you went out of mercy, I combined you here. Now I break it and leave no trace of you behind. This is not over. I see you will not go peacefully. Even a cast-off would uphold his pride, though such an impulse must speak to the overwhelming arrogance of my other half. The name Hephaestus shall grow to eclipse yours. None shall remember the deeds of La Habrea once I fulfilled Athena's ambition, and bring Thonius' dream to life. You speak as if you care a whit for the boy, and why then do you cower behind him? There are some desires which must not be realized. Athena would see this world destroyed if it meant she could find hers in the ruins. As for Thonius. He knows not what his wish would beget, truth which you have hidden from him. Do you truly believe a father's role is to deceive and to manipulate? My wish. You would claim the name Hephaestus and call yourself his father. Yet you bind his mind and body to dark chains. Your words and your pride ring hollow. Athena wanted her son by her side, and he desires to return there. What weakness is there mending a broken family? Athena cared not for Thonius, beyond how he can serve her ends. You claim to be acting in his interest, but to his plan you are no different. As I ushered Athena to her end, I vowed that my sole mission in life would be to guide this star true. In service of that vow, I silenced the whispers of my heart. I could not nurture a son whilst an entire world looked to me for guidance. For that choice, I bear the responsibility. Yet, he is still my son, and I will not suffer you to seduce him with falsehood. You who are naught but the bitter dregs of Athena and I, the very worst of us. Mother, she... No! Then how... How do I... Trust in La Habrea. I hear you. I owe you, Dennis, an apology. Athena, did you ever... And La Habrea, I will have my say. How? His mind was mine. I can't explain. Iyhara's words reached me through the haze. They rang loud and clear. As did the words of another, and a voice much like yours but resounding with the truth. How? When did you master these bonds? Oh, we've turned much worse. You worthless! You... It appears my failures have borne fruit after all. You did well, son. Where are we? Hephaestus essence containing this crystal, you may safely return to Eric with Erithonius above, that he would bind Hephaestus with only half his senses intact. You quite understand his adeptness in the art of eternity, was hardly what I had in mind, but a feat deserving of praise nonetheless. Feel no trace of Hephaestus' poison on your mind. For a blessing, it appears your body is none the worse for wear. I made my way here as soon as I could. I could no longer sense Hephaestus, and the force assailing Pandaemonium's barriers have ceased. Were you rid of him for good and all? I see. Despite his muddled senses, Ericthonius felt that failed to seal Hephaestus away with his proper course. Was it so noble as that? I only knew something had to be done, so I acted. La Habrea. Was that how you dealt with Hephaestus in the past? Indeed, it was not but the parts of my memory and soul that I had cut away. Massive ether without a material vessel. Storing his essence within a crystal was the most logical choice. On that matter, I believe the time has come for you to share the rest of your tale, of Hephaestus' creation and Athena's end. I heard your words, but only vaguely, as if under the surface of a deep pool. My mother wished to use me. I would hear the whole truth. I want to know what happened here and what drove Athena to act as she did. I'm ready. Athena's brilliance outshone us all, even the other members of the wards of La Habrea were as children in comparison. So dedicated to research it was not unheard of for her to forget meals or even sleep. Her mind was ever grasping for knowledge. It was in this endless search that she became obsessed with uncovering the secrets of life. You see, while we can conceive life in various forms, the means of creating a soul are beyond our ken. Similarly, although we can enhance and alter our physical vessels, we have ever been bound to them. Athena's purpose was to shatter these limitations. Those limitations were not meant to be surpassed. So she sought to enter the realm of the gods. Scarce few have the ability to comprehend what such a task entails, let alone the courage to attempt it. For most, the thought would have been an idle fancy, considered once and then discarded. Not so for Athena. As the leader of the wards of La Habrea, I spoke with her often about transcending our being. From an academic perspective, the challenge has plagued countless researchers through the ages. It was during these musings I began to formulate a theory, a means by which a person could meld with creation. The weakness of one would be mitigated by the strengths of the other, and the result could be something greater than we have ever imagined. Although it was only but a theory, Athena insisted I develop it further, curious about every detail along the way. Conversations became more frequent, and our platonic relationship grew into something much more. I take it I was born not soon after. Just so. I believe that she bore the true affection for me and was blind to her hidden intentions. When Pandaemonium was built, she requested to lead the researchers, and I saw no reason to deny her. Even setting aside her relationship, her accomplishments as a scholar made her an obvious choice. However, in giving her Pandaemonium, I gave her a free rein to conduct whatsoever experiments she could devise. And when you found out what she was doing, you killed her. I made haste to Pandaemonium in the moment I learned of these hidden chambers. I guessed to keep watch over her from Tartaro's vestibule as I ventured deeper, knowing not what would await me. As for what occurred next, 'tis best to see it with your own eyes. Is that me? You're well aware that out of the respect for our neighbors and outposts, the researchers of Pandaemonium are not to be masked. Yet you stand before me with your face covered. What petty defiance is this? What indeed? So quick you are to rebuke me, though you yourself have not set foot in these halls since their inception. You must have known you could not conceal this from myself or annex this forever. And yet, again, well, you know that I cannot allow it to continue. I shall say this but once. Release Erechthonius, ere I shall have no choice but to strike you down. I would meet my end at the hands of none other. However, ere my time has come, I would have you know the why of it. Then you will not desist. Once you understand what has driven me this far, you shall see that stopping me was never an option. You shall see that stopping was never an option. Feelings of one weigh little against the needs of an entire star. Oh, crap. You have my interest in my motivations. What possessed Athena, peerless researcher and mother and son of the great Lahabrea, to embark upon a path to her downfall? History will demand an answer, but it's you who deserves one. Give me your hand, Lahabrea, and we shall know one another more deeply. Never before. Impossible. You bonded your souls. Aye, but the boundaries between us would cease to be. She offered me everything to be understood. I found myself unable to refuse. At that moment, my mind was a storm of questions. Yet one roared the loudest. Did Athena ever truly love me? I am become the memory and mind. And I thee. Can you feel it? My heart, all that I am. Yes, as if it were my own. Fathomless desire to dissect the mysteries of life, to transcend our mortal flesh, and bleed into a higher plane of existence. An unquestionable thirst for knowledge, not a single thought spared for another, for the star. How disappointing. Yet what is known cannot be unknown. You have beheld my life's work. Try as you might to excise the memory, the seed of desire remains. When it takes root, you too shall be consumed by the self-same fervor. I will dig it out. I will dispense with the corruption in my soul ere your rotten insight spreads. "'Twas my weakness that let this wickedness fester, but never again. Today I cast aside fickle emotion and abide in duty alone. Today I renounce all that I was and live only as Laha Brea. Thus did I forsake the part of myself that had been polluted by Athena, sealing it within a crystal. Never did I think I would one day face those memories made flesh. Forgive my bluntness, but your actions have bordered on insanity. To go such a lengths to escape your memories, you nearly rewrote your very existence. Rest assured, the change did not go unnoticed by our colleagues in the convocation. Iyhara and itself in particular made plain the suspicions they harbored. As well as I should have, that she escaped with her life was nothing short of a miracle. Why did you destroy the crystal then and there? Did you think to one day make use of the knowledge it contained? I will not deny such considerations played into my decision, but my main motivation was fear. I had never attempted such a feat before. The crystal was my sole recourse should something go awry with the remainder of my soul. In hindsight, to cling to it was a mistake born of doubt. Athena must have anticipated that I would resort to such measures, prepared a vessel beforehand that would accept the dregs of my soul. Hephaestus doubtless duties performing his duty as a husband and father should. Yet in truth, it was a puppet being pulled to and fro by Athena's desires. His goal was not to raise himself high. He thought only of seeing his dear Athena live again, that she might finish what she began. Yet for all that, he and I were alike. We yet shared a fatal flaw, you see. Our need for control blinded us to other perspectives. While I was enthralled in Hephaestus, you called out to me. What say you now? Does Laha Brea speak true? Yes, and now it's your turn to do the same. I just want to know one thing. Do you truly believe that hiding the truth was best for me, even knowing how I felt about my mother? Laha Brea, I know had a fatal flaw after all. I'm still not convinced. I have said all that I can say. Now it is for you to choose to believe me or not. The Laha Brea I know holds duty above all else. I would sooner prostrate myself before an erupting volcano than place my fickle emotions in its path. When you return to the surface, you'll doubtless down that mask once more. So before we climb out of this forsaken pit, suppose I should say, thank you, Hephaestus. Hephaestus was far more than an imitation of Laha Brea. He's quite literally a part of him. But Laha Brea to me is a man who thinks not of naught but his duty. By casting aside the burden that Hephaestus represented, he shall ever become more himself, I've said all that needs to be said. From this moment forward, I pledge that my heart shall not lead me astray. I've heard enough. There's more I would yet discuss, but we should first return to the Pandaemonium gates and gather my thoughts on the way. Iyhara Tolar is the ideal test subject. Fastos research must have been very nearly complete to seek him out like we did. We have regained complete control of the facility, but it shall take some time yet until things are working more again. I owe an apology, Iyhara. It was due to my own experience that Fastos was so easily able to take hold of my mind. I also owe you thanks. If you and Themis hadn't chosen to brave the chaos of occurring in Pandaemonium, then I would never have known Lahabre's story. My father's story. It was a tale I too was fascinated to hear. I look very much looking forward to speaking with Azim upon my return. I cannot help but wonder how much she foresaw. I'm afraid I cannot allow that, Elidibus. So long as you retain control of Pandaemonium, there's work to be done. But of course, I shall first free the reigning warders and restore this place to its former glory. Using the facilities in Tartaros, we should be able to reverse the changes made to their bodies and minds. I shall stay behind to oversee the process. That as well, but I must yet learn why I was considered to be the key to Hephaestus' experiments, and how he intended to revive Athena. Such questions are best left unanswered. In fact, I forbid the pursuit of that knowledge. The boundary between man and creation shall never again be crossed. I intend to destroy the crystal which is containing Hephaestus' sins, that this mistake never again repeats. I see no reason to gainsay your judgment. There is yet the matter of your crystal. Truth be told, I had not considered its origin until I saw one containing Hephaestus' aether. I was struck by how wholly different they were. There is another. While imbuing a crystal with memories is a simple process, storing a message, a warning even, will be something altogether more complex. This also means that someone besides the present company, and Azim, was aware of the plot unfolding within Pandaemonium. Then why would they not make themselves known, even now? No threats were made. Perhaps it was one of the other warders. We shall question them after they are freed. That task may yet take some time. A resource I'd rather not steal more of from you. Return at your leisure and we shall share our results then. You've done more than enough for the time being. I am of the same mind. Leave the loose ends to us and continue upon your journey. Or if you're so inclined, take a much needed repose. This talk of journey smacks of Azim. I said, well, it should. She was flashing to keep me moving until she had seen every corner of the world. If you do find yourself with a spare moment, you might bring that crystal of yours to Lahabrea. You may be able to offer further insight. Until then, my friend. I look forward to meeting you. I look forward to returning with the crystal. To your returning with the crystal. But worry not. I shall try to do my best, level best to lead off in this way you come. As you may have noticed during our battle, Lahabrea's mask caused me when I transformed. It is said that we manifest in ways that reflect our innermost selves. I had thought the mask was the symbol of the chains that bound my heart, but recent events have caused me to consider that assumption. crystal that hangs from Arathonius' waist as a gift from me, in the hopes that it would spark growth in his aptitude of magic. Display he no longer requires it, but I see no reason why you cannot wear it. Oh well. Wife, it is Iyhara. Excuse me, well, I'm not my usual chipper. Excuse me if I'm not my usual chipper self, but we have not been without our difficulties in your absence. You see, communication with the airship Professor Claudian commissioned for his search was lost some time ago, and now we have quite lost track of where he might be. And to make matters worse, Nemgigi has just sent us word from an unusually large amount of energy coming from somewhere within the Ethereal Sea. I'm just on my way to the ITS. Please, you must come with me. What? What is that? Is it real? Why is it whenever danger visits the world, you're never far behind? And you two, Professor Claudian's assistants, I take it. As you arrived before me, I take it you're involved in this. I would thank you to furnish me with an explanation. While the research summary you submitted to the forum gave us no cause for concern, these details are alarming. The professor's last message indicated that he was on his way to Aziz La, but we know not whether he ever reached his destination. Mirage endeavor even for Claudian, but he has ever allowed the throw of discovery to cloud his better judgment. We have no recourse but to entreat Ishgard's aid in searching for him. As for the unsightly fortress which materialized in the Ethereal Sea, Pandaemonium was it? It cannot be left alone. For the time being, information regarding this matter must be strictly controlled so as to minimize panic. We will gather those with knowledge of the Ethereal Sea and continue monitoring further irregularities. You two submit a detailed report to the forum at once. At present, we have far more questions than answers. Nevertheless, I would ask for your assistance at such a time that our investigation has concluded. Very good. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must apprise the forum what has occurred here. Just when we need him most, Professor Claudian remains unaccounted for. He even brought the crystal with him. We are left with scarce few straws to grasp at. I am but a lowly assistant. Even I can see that our two current problems are likely related. The same party or phenomenon may be responsible for both. Conversely, I now see now that my unexperienced imagination failed to do Pandaemonium's buyer's justice. I can only wonder if the facility itself traversed the ages, did the creations within do the same? Or if the key wards? The answer to these questions shall come in time, I'm sure. For now, I must do as Master Fortuno asked and write that report. As for you, Iyhara, pray and get what rest your responsibilities will allow. When you next call upon you, I wager we shall need you in prime condition. The appearance of Pandaemonium has since ripples throughout the ethereal sea, which have been observed as far off as Thaumazen. Though the access to Actiascope has technically been restricted while the researchers go about their business, sure exceptions can be made for one such as you. Shall do as Master Fortuno commands and compile research before sending off to the forum. Paperwork on all matters has been my forte since before I was even a student. Yeah, if I may have a moment. If you would be so inclined, I would very much like to hear the story of your battles in Abyssos and Tartaros. While I have no difficulty producing reports for the forum with a general summation of events, I could use some help with the finer details. For the record, you know. For the record, you say. Come out. Be honest and admit to state your own curiosity. I've seen the tomes you've left scattered about the laboratory. Bestiaries of creatures both real and imagined. I will not, and I dare say should not, deny an intellectual stake in the matter. Surely Iyhara will understand that a thorough recounting will help Professor Claudian's research as well. Now then, whenever you're ready. Fascinating. As you say, the savage creation you encountered in Abyssos bears no more than a few similarities with the carbon. Could it be that the arcane entities we now know had their origins in ancient times? Just as curious as your story of the keyword room was melded with the tree and legend, where do the limits of the Hemethos creation process lie? I wonder, and how do such creatures even survive once melded? I expect you cannot help yourself from asking even more questions. What purpose would such knowledge serve? Oh, listen. One day you shall develop a keen instinct for a researcher. Then you shall understand that it is impossible not to wonder once the spark of imagination has been struck. Iyhara's stories have already set several theories stirring in my mind, and I feel even more bubbling just beneath under the surface. Take Hephaestus, for example. It would not be a great leap to assume that he studied at length the regenerative and death-defying properties of the phoenix. And that's just the tip of the proverbial bird. You're free to exercise your imagination all you like, but need I remind you, these reports are meant to be submitted to the Master Fortuno himself. I implore you to exercise restraint. Professor Claudian would encourage me, you know? He thrives on theories and imagination. I do understand your point, Rosano. If I were to submit such a report to Master Fortuno, I would soon thereafter be forced to write a formal apology. Doesn't look like someone you'd want to make mad. I was hoping you'd be more supportive, Iyhara. Very well, I shall include the only conjecture that is directly relevant to the contents of the report. Now, shall I set ink to paper, let the wonder of the theory guide my hand? Within reason, of course. Yeah, I cannot help but dream even larger. There are no bounds of which the mind can imagine. And if there are, let us both try to find them, Iyhara.